So welcome everyone. Welcome to week 3 of VW MOOC 24 and our session today. Today we are going on a very, very special trip, I would say, but actually it's an experience. It is an immersive experience in Second Life, and that's with Lynne Berrett, Lissena, aka Wisdomseeker. Lynne Berrett is executive director of Whole Brain Health and Second Life, and its nonprofit parent Ageless Mind Project. The mission in Second Life is to offer volunteer-hosted and interactive self-guided programs. And I want to stress that these are all free under the rubric of lifelong learning for healthful aging. Outworld Lynne Berrett, MA and MSW, has been a university instructor in English and Humanities, special counselor for at-risk college students, and licensed clinical social work psychotherapist. She now coaches academic faculty virtually. In 2021, she was honored to receive the Thinker Award for Leadership and Education at the VWBPE conference. She accepted it on behalf of the many volunteers who create and facilitate programs as part of the WBH Collective. So it's going to be amazing. Val, librarian, is going to be screen sharing for us today. And Val, you can see where we are right now. We are at the nonprofit Commons, but we'll be heading over very soon. We'll be actually teleporting. So if you're watching this on YouTube or you're here in Zoom, you won't be able to feel as much, but you'll be able to visit later on because the link will be available in the description of this video.
I want to welcome you back to the Character Strengths Park on Inspiration Island. As most of you know, I'm Liz, or Wisdomseeker, the Director of Whole Brain Health, a center for lifelong learning in Second Life. Some of you are here for VW MOOC 2023 last year. I've invited you back to share a new approach we're using to our self-guided lifelong learning activities on Inspiration Island and Bay. Well, Fran, would you click on the seats if we need more seats so I can do this?
I've been doing that, yes.
Thank you, my dear. Okay. We schedule hosted programs here almost every day, and these work well with synchronous groups. It's not as easy to get visitors to interact with our asynchronous activities, yet they offer many advantages in a virtual world. Everybody okay with the sound? I'm not in Zoom as well as here, so it shouldn't echo. For example, they are available 24/7 in any time zone. They can be done alone or with others. They can teach very specific skills at the learner's pace. They can also be scheduled in SL events as day-long events, which helps us reach a broader audience. Savannah, as always, is multitasking. But Second Life can feel very empty when nobody's around. So one challenge we face is giving self-guided learners the feeling that we're supporting presences even when we aren't able to be present. A second challenge is to make these activities immersive, interactive, and interesting enough that learners will want to spend time doing them. A third challenge is to make them clear enough that learners know what to do and why. And a fourth challenge is to give visitors simple, motivating ways to communicate directly with us to start a dialogue. Peonia, is it Peonia maybe who has both on?
Oh, Shannon, maybe your mic is on?
So I'd like you to keep, okay, I thought you maybe might be. Keep these challenges in mind today. Maybe if somebody else is in both places, somebody else in the group, maybe you want to turn off your mic. So keep these challenges in mind today, please, in the debriefing. I'd like your opinion on how successfully we have addressed them. And here we're dealing with what we usually deal with here, technology, as always. First, since this is the title of today's program, I'll share a brief history of the evolution of the self-guided activity from 2013 when WBH was established to the present. And I thought to myself later, could anybody have made a less sexy title for this event than I did? So, here we are. Okay. Maybe that way the learners in the MOOC watching this can get a clearer sense of the exciting creative processes available in a virtual world. I always go for sexy, Janaya. Okay, so back in 2013, the first character strengths park was simply a series of textures I made in PowerPoint for each of the 24 character strengths. I experimented with placing them on flat surfaces like walls in Second Life. Then I tried making them more dimensional by putting them into a box. Well, this is first my 1 and 2 I should have put together. So my second attempt at something that was a little more immersive was this one with at least some connection to what we were doing. I put it into my meeting house. I used to have a meeting house, my first build, I think, in Second Life. Okay, and then I tried to make them more dimensional by putting them into a box. So they're sitting in a box in a tent. You could tell I had no building skills whatsoever. When I gradually became more adept at designing and building in Second Life, I made a grove of oak trees, symbolism, on a small parcel and hung the boxes on their branches because I didn't know how to make acorns. So you can kind of see them up in the trees. And I was so proud when educators brought students to see my immersive build. Unfortunately, the tree branches made it difficult to actually touch the boxes, so I had to move them to the ground, which pretty much destroyed my visually immersive part of the experience. All these are learnings on my part. Last year, I showed you my next major attempt at immersion. I moved to a larger, more accessible area, which is right here, of our island, and set up big posters surrounded by trees. Symbolism again. No two trees were alike. And the posters, here's an example of one, supported interactive objects. I think you can kind of see at the top, there's some butterflies hanging over them, over this poster, that avatars could attach to their bodies. So you'd walk around with the butterflies on you. This did increase the visual and I hope the emotional aspects of the experience. And that's really what I was going for, was to have a more emotional aspect to it. But this area felt even emptier when none of us was present. So I'm going to remove this now. Okay. Then I saw an imaginative build in Second Life called the Uncle D Quest and met trees that could talk. Other voices there immersed me in the story of a man's life. I realized how much using voice could do to provide a richer, more multi-sensory experience. And the builder of the Uncle D Quest, Janaya, is here today. So I give you full credit for the inspiration that led me further. That's what I've tried to do in this newest iteration of the park. We already plan to use variations of this approach in other self-guided areas on Inspiration Island and Bay. For example, visitors to Brodmann's Brain will hear Dr. Hubbard's voice while watching the brain areas activate as he is describing them. He's got some pretty spectacular effects, special effects. Poems in Jasmine's Music and Art Park will be heard as visitors view their text in her artworks. So it's going to be multisensory that way. The same will be true for places like Marley's Butterfly Gallery and Tuya's Simply Impossible Creations and Savannah's Texture Workshop, to name just a few of our 20+ self-guided learning areas. Today we aren't going to focus on the content of this build, although I consider character strengths to be foundational to what we do at WBH to foster healthful aging. I hope you'll understand their value from your experience today. Today I'm inviting you to test out the park itself, the setting of the learning experience. So I want to ask you these questions at the end. Have we met our challenges? To remind you, have we created a sense of human presence here? Is the build immersive, interactive, and interesting? Are the instructions clear enough? Is it easy and motivating to communicate with us? Because really that's the point of this, to move people to communicate with us and come to some workshops we'll be setting up. Here's how we'll proceed. I'm not sure how many, can somebody count how many people are here? We'll count off and click on the headphones kiosk one at a time so we don't bollocks it. I'm told that people can click at the same time, but I just thought maybe for this time we should try doing it separately. So maybe you could start with 27 people. Okay, good. There are 26 character strengths. Does that include me, Pat? If it does, you've got 26 people and 26 strengths. Good. So I want each person to have a different strength. So if we count off maybe the first person, let me see how I said this. I thought I was being so smart here. If you're able to hear local voice, this is what you're going to be doing. You look at the headphones kiosk at the start sign. Can everybody see that? If you're able to hear local voice, you can click on the kiosk under the start sign and you'll accept the headphones. They are HUD. You'll hear through them when they turn green. Okay, and then if you cannot hear in world, click to accept the note card in the kiosk. Everything in the park contains note cards for those who cannot hear. Usually I recommend taking the strength survey by clicking on Yoda. You follow the arrow to him because he speaks, because you may be surprised by the order of ranking among your top 5 strengths.
Yoda the wise I am. Heed well my words, for in them much wisdom I offer. My note card from the player HUD headphones kiosk.
It doesn't matter
be sure
anyway.
to
If
read.
2 of you come to one place, it's
The
fine.
kiosk
There are a lot of
click
people.
to get
Just
it.
I would say we're going around,
In
so
it,
people.
much about
some
this
people might
magical
want to come over
park.
to
Tell you
to
I
this
will.
area where there are
What you learn
different
about your
strengths.
own
Keep going
character
around. There's
strengths
6
here,
areas,
your life
and
can be
each area has
transformed
different
by.
numbers of strengths. But
Do you see the 5 stars
24
I proudly
altogether.
wear? My 5 greatest
And Lear has
character
just met our
strengths, they
chatbot.
are perspective, the first one, then bravery, social intelligence, leadership, and self-regulation. All of my top 5 strengths I like to wear to remind myself that when all 5 together I use, aha! A great sage wielding newfound power I become. Discover your strengths. You can, if you on me now click. To the free scientific survey, I will guide you. Show your strengths to you, it will. Or if you can't, this park you can explore and for yourself decide which 5 strengths most naturally come to you, energize you, make you feel happy, and at your best. Then your character strengths, like me, you will be able to wear. Learn how you will, as in the park you find them. So, in a spirit of adventure, explore here. Truly wonderful the mind of a child is. For you here, a new world of possibilities waiting is.
What is the character strength of perspective? Seeing the bigger picture. Think about times when you have to make decisions that affect not only you, but those around you. How do you do it? If you weigh the pros and cons from various sides and check to fill the gaps in your own knowledge, you are actively using the strength of perspective. This isn't just about having a viewpoint. It's about appreciating multiple viewpoints, offering wise counsel, and seeing the broader implications of decisions. Perspective helps us solve problems in ways that are not just effective, but also thoughtful and fair, because it's based on empathy and open-mindedness and experience. If this is one of your top 5 strengths, click on the note card button on the menu to learn more about ways it can enrich your life. What is the character strength of love of learning? Fueling your intellectual curiosity. Remember when you first learned to do something you now love? Maybe it was playing the piano, or chess, or building a website, or understanding a poem. Or remember discovering a subject you never knew about and doing a deep dive into it? Love of learning means valuing education of all sorts as an exciting, never-ending journey, learning that becomes lifelong. It leads to personal growth, while you enjoy every step of the process. If this is one of your top 5 strengths, click on the note card button on the menu to learn more about ways it can enrich your life. What is the character strength of judgment? Sharpening your critical thinking. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you were faced with conflicting information? For instance, listening to 2 people involved in a car accident who give you 2 different stories about how it happened? How do you decide which is more accurate? Judgment is not being critical. It's thinking clearly, evaluating evidence objectively, and not jumping to conclusions. It means sifting through the noise, asking the right questions, being open-minded but skeptical, not taking things at face value, but looking under the surface. You could call it your mental toolkit for solving problems. It helps you weigh your options carefully and make informed choices about important decisions in your life. If this is one of your top 5 strengths, click on the note card button on the menu to learn more about ways it can enrich your life.
Liz, I can't get these to play. I can hear the tree, but I don't hear any of these 3.
Did you hit the audio
I am the
button
virtue
in the
of
menu?
humanity.
Yes, but my
I
headphones.
value forming
are
deep, meaningful connections, caring for others, and understanding their emotions and needs. The hearts under my tree name 3 character strengths that are humanity in action: love, social intelligence, and kindness. To learn about each strength, click on its heart. Its name is in the red hover text. Click on my tree for Yoda's guidance. Have fun.
What is the character strength of love? The heart of connection and growth. Think about what underpins the most meaningful relationships in your life. It's the give and take, the support during tough times, the shared joy in good times. Love is at the core of our most profound and rewarding connections, bringing us closer to family, friends, and partners. Love isn't just romantic. We also want to give and receive care, warmth, and affection. Reciprocity is the essence of love in action. Love is transformative because it helps us develop empathy, kindness, and understanding. When we love, we strive to be better people. Most important of all, this strength is the foundation for emotional security and personal growth. If this is one of your top 5 strengths, click on the note card button on the menu to learn more about ways it can enrich your life.
I am the virtue of transcendence. I value our connection to something greater than ourselves, something unknowable that helps us rise above everyday concerns, inspires us, and gives a sense of purpose and meaning to life. The butterflies under my tree name 5 character strengths that are transcendence in action: gratitude, humor, hope, appreciation of beauty and excellence, and spirituality. To learn about each strength, click on its butterfly. Its name is in red hover text. Click on my tree for Yoda's guidance. Have fun! I am the virtue of temperance. I value mastery over ourselves through managing our impulses and making thoughtful choices. The yin-yang plaques under my tree name 4 character strengths that are temperance in action: humility, prudence, forgiveness, and self-regulation. To learn about each strength, click on its plaque. Its name is in the red hover text. Click on my tree for Yoda's guidance. Have fun! I am the virtue of justice. I value promoting healthy community life through fairness, equity, and impartiality in law and behavior. The pyramids under my tree name 3 character strengths that are justice in action: teamwork, fairness, and leadership. To learn about each strength, click on its pyramid. Its name is in the red hover text. Click on my tree for Yoda's guidance. Have fun!
What is the character strength of leadership? Guiding with grace and strength. Imagine being a leader who sets clear goals and also walks the talk. You're not in your office giving orders, you're on the ground, working alongside your team, listening to ideas, and providing feedback. Leadership isn't just about being in a position of power. It's about inspiring, guiding, and bringing people together toward a common goal. This is the kind of leadership that builds strong, resilient teams. Effective leaders have the ability to facilitate positive change. They navigate challenges with grace, encourage open communication, and foster an environment where everyone feels valued and understood. If this is one of your top 5 strengths, click on the note card button on the menu to learn more about ways it can enrich your life.
I am the virtue of courage. I value confronting fear, adversity, and uncertainty with fortitude and resolve. The jewels under my tree name 4 character strengths that are courage in action: bravery, perseverance, zest, and honesty. To learn about each strength, click on its jewel. Its name is in the red hover text. Click on my tree for Yoda's guidance. Have fun.
What is the character strength of perseverance? Perseverance is the power of momentum and forward motion. Imagine starting a project and encountering unexpected difficulties. Instead of giving up, you adjust your plan, learn from your mistakes, and keep pushing forward. That's perseverance in action. Some people call it grit. Whether you're training for a marathon, working towards a degree, or building a business, that strength is what keeps you on track in spite of setbacks. It combines endurance with resilience. You don't just survive challenges, you emerge stronger from them. If this is one of your top 5 strengths, click the note card button on the menu to learn more about ways it can enrich your life.
Back to the questions as we're doing it. People can all hear me, I think. Okay. And P says the whole experience brings you to meditate. But that is wonderful, P. That was kind of what I was hoping. Confusing because there's so many of us, but an example of how to use the platform made it interactive. What is the difference between attaching a star and getting a star? Yes, the thing about attaching a star is that it does disappear. And so part of what I tried to do, because I think people often, after they've done something, forget what they did. At least they're like me. So that's one of the reasons I put the what do you call it, the photo studio there, so you could take a record. But we also decided to put the same stars in there so you could add it to your inventory if you want to. We didn't want people to get their inventories full of stars unnecessarily. So you have the choice. You can do both. You can put the star on, take your picture, and then you can keep it in your inventory and you have it there as you put them into a folder, all 5, and put the date on it. And then you can see, and maybe in a year, take the survey again and see if you've changed anything, because you do change with experiences, with different kinds of growth. You do change your even the order of your 5, or you may even move things around quite a bit. Let's see if I've got the nearby chat. I can see what people said. Let's see. I'm looking for where I am. So Andrea said, I took the survey first, then went down the stages on the path and got the stars for my strengths. I got a picture with Yoda. Rest. If you want a star object, walk over to make character strength. Julie's antivirus sounds like SL. Sounds are blacklisted. That's interesting. Oh, you're right, because it does ask you for permission. You're right. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, well, this is a question for people too about, I want to make this as accessible as possible, and I'm hoping that most people will be able to hear and not get frustrated. Well, Fran would know probably. Fran, what do you think? Yeah, 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 yeah. And yeah, that's good question to talk about because I'm always passing information back to Fred who makes these things. Yes, and Lear, your chest star. I had the same thing happens. I'm going to ask Fred who set the attachment points to move that out because if you've got any kind of chest, you don't see it. You're absolutely right. Uh, oh, Andrea, I love that you would put these up. Okay. The recordings of different voices. The problem is I keep losing stuff in here. I just want to ask you, Tori said, I got a bit confused because it is the number of us. I was listening to lists, listening to the trees. Yes, that's another issue. If people start talking while to each other in here while they're trying to listen, it becomes a kind of too many voices, right? Yes, I hope you do come back and go through the experience properly. Okay, you got confused by the instructions. Actually, I'm going to try to get this bot to become a chat GPT bot, which can really interact with you. It's very interesting how that develops. You do like Brianna says, I like the extra layer of audio to add to the immersion. And we couldn't have everything be by proximity because they're too close to each other, the trees and the objects. Okay, yeah, the tree is, and yes, that's why you put the stand here. That's where you're supposed to stand to hear it. And then the objects you have to click on because you can't do both. You can't, and having proximity of everything going on at the same time would be too much. I'm wondering if we should have the trees be also by click rather than proximity. Would that be better? That's another question maybe you can answer for me. If you had to click on the tree to hear it, would that be better than just having it start to talk when you come up to it? Okay, Kriyatia, I am unsure of the sense of human presence. Okay, it is definitely immersive and interesting. It's tough to know the instructions are clear because of the range of issues of startup confusion in the group. SL viewer and no one else had problems. Need the experience and they had a call to actually encourage more outreach. Okay, I actually do have it in the note cards in these things. It's a message from Liz that's in everything. You got it in the tree, in the objects. You got it in the photo studio. It's different at first to have it talk. I had it try to set it so you could be close, so you wouldn't have it. Okay, if you're by yourselves, yeah. Let me just see here what I wrote. Hang on a minute. This is really helpful. Thank you. Keep thinking of other things here about your experience that you would like, us to know so I can do work on it. I don't know why I'm having trouble finding this thing I want to feel. Oh, now I know why I was having trouble. Okay. I didn't know how many people would be here today either, so I wasn't sure what we'd be doing. how many people we'd have to deal with. So thank you all for coming. This has been a wonderful help. Okay, and the note cards. I tried to, yeah, with folder for each star. It's also in the, so I'm having technical difficulties in how to do things, and all this takes time and practice. Usually people, when they come, are coming by themselves so they can take, I guess my question is, if you came here, would you be so frustrated you wouldn't stay, or would you take the time to learn how to use this? Is it interesting enough that you'd want to stay and take the time? And yes, I wanted it to have you to have choices to, if you wanted to just use note cards, or you want to take the note cards to look at later on. But the voices were really here to, you know, to give you a sense of a person. That's why I wanted different people to speak. And then I think that if we have some workshops, that's another way that people can learn how to play with these more. You crashed 5 times already? Your cat escaped. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. Yeah, load testing. Okay, so it's worthwhile continuing to develop this, you're saying, you think? Because we have 20 plus self-guided areas here that people have built. Different people have built them. And I think that somebody comes in and is overwhelmed. I'm going to, at the Welcome Center we have here, have one of these kiosks so people can get their headphones there, and you can actually use the same headphones everywhere on the island. So any place you go where they turn green, you will know you can hear something, which I think is kind of fun to do. And we'll also have at that center, you know, an explanation of what this is about and how to be able to find other places. We have lots of different ways to travel around the island. Fran has made just amazing number of different ways. We find that redundancy really helps. So that, I hope, will allow people who have different learning experiences, who have been here longer or shorter, who can't hear or whatever, to be able to enjoy it in their own way. So thank you for typing so many. Please type more things in if you can think of them right now. And things that really were confusing to you very specifically will help me. And I don't expect I will ever have this many people here at one time. So I'm hoping that it won't be such a difficult thing.